So, good morning, good morning. We are out here in beautiful Phillips Garden, and we are having an open discussion about motherhood. So, with that being said, we are going to do some introductions. So, ladies, I want you to introduce yourself, tell me your name, and tell me a little bit about your kids.
Okay. I'll go first. My name is Alicia Robinson. I'm 39 years old. I have three boys. One is 17, 14, and 8.
Okay. Yeah.
They're definitely fun and active. Okay.
All right. We're going to dive into it. Let's go.
My name is Serena Garrett. I'm 31. I have 4 children, 3 girls, 1 boy. Their ages are 13, 10, 9, and 4. Yeah, they're a handful.
Handful. All right. So with that being said, we're gonna dive straight into it. Whoever wants to go first, just jump right in. How would you say things have changed from how you used to be to how you are now, as far as motherhood and being a mom?
Whew. Okay. Well, I'll take that one. Definitely, it's a shift. Your mindset has to change because now it's no longer about you, right? You have to focus on, the needs of your children. They go first.
Right.
So, when you think about your wants and needs, of course, you gotta cheat a little bit and get your, I have to hide my snacks, right? I have to, do things, bring the bags in the house,
Yeah.
But, when it all comes down to it, it's all about, what's best for them and, supplying the needs for them first.
Yeah. I understand that. How about you?
I would say for me, I had my son when I was 17, so I think the shift didn't really come until I had my first daughter.
Okay.
When I had my son, it was like I could take him anywhere I go. Like, we out.
we
out here. But when I had a girl, she set me down.
Like, hold on,
that girl set me down. My first baby set me down. Scared to tell anybody what my mom expected. I was supposed to be gone to the military by that time, and I got pregnant, so I couldn't go. But it was a big blessing for me.
Why would you say that?
I was terrified because everybody left to Afghanistan that I was supposed to be going with.
Yeah.
So he was a big miracle. He was my miracle baby.
Take a trip around the world. Yeah. How about for you?
Well, for me, I was in college. I was 22 when I had my first son. And, again, just going back to, facing those responsibilities. A lot of people can, still go to school and, consider education as being a parent. But my focus kind of turned, because now I had to provide for another person, right? So it went into, work mode. And, I was definitely scared, unsure of what was going to happen being a mother and, being a single mother, because things had changed.
Right.
It was definitely something I was not prepared for.
Well, what you saying that, I know things like changed and everything. So, how would you say that, like adjusting, was it pretty hard adjustment from, you doing you pretty much, and being able to go out and have your freedom and fun.
Absolutely.
That adjustment.
Because my mom, she was, a little lenient, because she understood that I was young. But it was times where I wanted to go out that I couldn't go out because it's like, no, you're going to watch your own child tonight.
Right.
So, some days, my friends who had children, we would just, go hang with each other and things like that to adjust because, we still wanted to have our fun.
Right. No, I understand. How about for you, Serena? How was that, that adjustment? Because, it's not like how it used to be, when you didn't have kids. How was that?
Well, for me, it's different because of the way that I grew up. My mom had us so young.
Okay.
That I already had to play mother role to my 2 brothers.
Okay.
So, to them, I already was mom. So I was right into it.
I kind of got a rhythm.
It wasn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't really hard for me because I always had to take care of them. My mom had us when she was 14.
Okay.
So I had to be mom.
Right.
You know what I mean? For a very long time before I even became a mother.
Oh man, so you definitely was already.
Yeah, so I was already by the time she found out, I was even pregnant. She was just in shock, like, because she's like, okay, you got to do this. Now I already did that. I'm like, I already did that. Yeah, I already got this. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be leaving this when I'm leaving. Like, she like, what? I'm like, yeah, I already did all that. You got it together.
So, what is something that you didn't know before that you wish you would have known, like as far as being like some advice that you would give to new mothers?
Breastfeed. I'm big on breastfeeding. Breastfeed. Give them all of that. That's what I didn't know. Like, that's not something that was pushed where I come from.
Okay.
My mom knew nothing to tell me about. Once me having a baby, she didn't really have anything to say to me. But breastfeeding, I think, was the biggest thing for me, the biggest takeaway, and especially for Black mothers.
Why would you say that's really important?
Because they get all your antibodies, and especially those first 3 days, even if you don't want to do it for as long as I did, I think it's like the best. And then it's also a form of birth control with all this stuff they put in this birth control nowadays.
Yeah.
I think breastfeed.
Right. What would you say in that?
Yeah, breastfeeding is definitely a great one. For me, I would say reading to them and reading to them and with them, because I noticed the difference as I became a new mom and then seasoned mom. There was a difference in how my kids developed based on the time that I spent. Right, your first child is always like you're trying to do everything perfect.
Yes.
And then as you learn and grow, you start to learn like, oh, if I had started this earlier.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. And what would you say to new mothers, like as far as, what would you say is something like a really helpful like baby product that like this is like a must, you gotta have this, like when you
glass bottles.
Glass bottles.
Yeah, not the plastic ones or anything. Glass bottles is like the go-to for me. Even when I have my baby showers, I always tell people to bring glass bottles. That's all I need. Like, that's the number one thing, because you can change the temperature on that so easily, so quickly.
Okay.
That bottle ready, right? You can
Gotcha.
freeze your breast milk, and you already got it in that glass bottle.
Okay. All right. I like that. What would you say?
Oh, I would definitely go with the glider. That's the little swing that puts them to sleep.
Okay.
It was like game changer.
So just put them in there and do your thing and come back and check on them.
Okay. My kids
right.
loved it.
All right. I love that. Oh, with these kids getting older and getting bigger, what would you say is like the hardest part about watching them grow up? Like, what is like really getting to you about it? Has gotten to you about it?
The life lessons, as they get older, I've got teenagers, so, the things that, you taught and instilled in them, you're just hoping that, they apply it.
Right.
But, I'm noticing that they're starting to branch off and want to do things by their own experience, and so I'm just like, like my mom, like we used to think that they didn't know anything, like everything that we're telling them, like, you don't know nothing, like I'm gonna do this myself. And so, unfortunately, you just have to watch them, go through it.
They kind of do their own thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. How would you feel about that, watching them grow?
I'm so emotional about my kids growing up. Trusting them. My oldest especially, like, just trusting them. I mean, even yesterday was the biggest time I ever allowed him to walk home.
Oh wow.
Like, I'm not even, I'm very much on, what you doing, where you at, and I'm very affectionate and stuff, so it's the trust factor, like having to give that trust, like.
Well, like, man, they finally getting bigger, kind of.
So I know I have to back off a lot, especially because he's my only boy. But I guess the trust is hard.
Okay, I understand. And with the kind of generation that we living in now, with the kids and like everything is like all social media and like you got tablets and video games. Nobody really like kind of playing outside anymore like they used to, like when we was growing up. How important do you feel like that still is, and how do you go about still kind of allowing them to have a childhood outside of like the social media and like the games and everything?
Absolutely. I think, you have to take control of that. You have to limit how much TV and, phone that they get because, one, the society that we live in, there's so much information being poured out to them that some of the stuff is being taught to them that, we aren't only the teachers anymore, right? Social media is showing more than what we would have saw when we were growing up, right? So talking about sex and talking about violence and things like that. Some of those conversations you would have rather, you had that conversation before anything, right? And so just being able to limit how much time that they get, through, that social media because they're gonna see it.
Right.
You just gotta have those conversations about it.
Okay. Yeah, how do you feel about that?
For me, I guess I would just say that, you can't be the only voice.
Right.
You just got to make sure yours is the loudest that they hear.
Okay. Yeah.
Like that.
When it comes to my kids, I unplug everything. Go outside. That's it. We aim, y'all. Go outside. As far as because of social media, and I wouldn't even say because of social media. I can correct that. It was certain conversations that my mother never had with me that I had to learn on my own as an adult woman.
Right.
So raising my son, I was very extremely open dialogue, and I'm like that with all of my kids. We have a weekly family meeting about questions. They might have stuff we could discuss. Anything that's gonna come up, we talk about it. If I see something that I think, because I have Facebook, none of my kids have social media.
Okay.
But they gonna find a way to get to see whatever they gonna see, or somebody gonna get it to them in school or something. But I just make sure I stay up with the time so that I can have those discussions with them. Like, did you see this? Did you happen to see this video? You want to discuss?
How do you feel? How was it for you growing up, and how has that shaped you and changed you to the mother that you are now?
I would say it shaped every part of the mother I am now. Growing up where I come from, and I would have to say, like, I had extreme freedom. Like, I was going everywhere, doing everything that nobody knew I was.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean? I'm the complete opposite. I'm very on top of where my kids going, what they doing, who they talking to, how old is your friend, a little bit too old to be a friend. Like, I'm very, like, everything that happened to me growing up shaped me to be a very protective mother.
Okay.
I watch everything when it comes to my kids.
So you feel like because you didn't have that growing up, that has made you more like protective of what you didn't have.
Because I think the one thing my mom always said was like, you were the responsible one, so I didn't have to worry about you.
Right,
but I was. I was the opposite. I'm the complete opposite with my kids. I'm all up in their business.
Hey, where you doing? Where you going?
Who was that? Who you talked to? How you know him? What was y'all talking about? I thought I heard a little. And how you know? Yes, I'm very, yes.
Okay. And Alicia, how do you feel like, how was it for you growing up, and how has that shaped you into the mother that you are now?
Wow. Well, for me, I was the only child, so most people don't really see that in me, but I was quite spoiled, so I was always with my mom, very observant of what she was doing. So it actually groomed me to be the mother that I am today. Watching all of the sacrifices and things that she did helped me to develop the mom that I was supposed to be. And, she did a great job, raising me. So I was able to implement those, great qualities that she had. And that's where I am today.
Yeah, I love it. And, with the sacrifices, I know moms, you make a lot of sacrifices for your kids and, just to have the best for them. Like when you watch people winning awards or getting drafted, they always talk about, I first want to thank my mom. So how do you feel that moms are, we know they're important. I love you, Mom, but why do you feel like they are so important, and why are they so much needed? Why would you say that?
I think that moms are so important because they are the very first, they're your foundation of who you are as a person. Like, I always say my grandmother was like my mom. Like that was really my mom. Most of my ways I get from her.
Gotcha.
Very, very old school way I get from my grandmother. But I would say about my mother, yeah, she was very worked 3 jobs, did whatever she had to do,
Right.
and that determination she also instilled in me.
Right.
So I think moms are always important. Without them, I don't think we would be who we are.
Hey, I agree with that. Hey, amen to that. And why would you say mothers are very important?
Mothers are important, one, because they help, develop the emotional being within the child, right? Fathers do a great job, of course, discipline and things like that. But as the mother, there's an emotional piece that, you need to develop to grow as an adult. And I think that that's what's most important because, you have to be compassionate. You have to, have that emotional attachment that, I think that only a mother can thrive and pour that out.
Right. So carrying a lot of capes as a mom.
Yeah. Every head.
Yes.
I understand that. What is something that you want to leave with new mothers and expecting mothers and just people looking to one day take on that role of becoming a parent?
I would say self-care. Being a mom is it's all day, every day. It don't stop, and you have to take time for yourself. That I believe is like extremely important when coming into motherhood. Your mental health, physical, emotional health. You gotta take some time, however much it is, just take time for yourself.
That self-care is everything.
Yes, because with 4 kids, baby, the car is my hiatus. I get in that car for a good hour after I pick everybody up from school, go do your chores. While they doing chores, I'm that hour in that car, listen to whatever music I want to listen to that nobody else is.
Gotta do my own thing.
Yes.
So
and it seems really small, but it's big. It's a big deal.
So self-care, having that me time is everything.
Yes.
Okay. And what would you say, Miss Alicia?
I would say make you the priority. Like, don't forget that you come first. Whether you have a spouse, of course if you're a mom, but it's you, then your kids, because your mental state is everything. And when you're overwhelmed, stressed about things, you can't really care for your children or for anybody else if you're not right. So, like she said, implementing self-care, but making sure that you come first.
I definitely love that. And with that self-care and that me time, we are saying that's very important. I think, and a lot of times when people have kids or they have a kid, they kind of freak out because they're like, oh, everything stops. Like, they are 24. It is a 24/7 job, but it's really important for that me time. So how do you want to, like, as far as like letting them know, hey, it's okay, you can still have a life?
People kill me with this. It always irritated me. Like, even it's not even just the me time thing when it's about being a mother. It's like we do everything. You saw your mom do everything, but when it comes to other people being mothers, they're so quick to, oh, you won't graduate, oh, you won't do this, oh, you can't do that, yes, you can.
You still get it done, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, no, it doesn't stop, no, it's not all over. I mean, the fact is you mature. Your taste in what you want to do might change.
Right.
It might not just not be what you're doing, what your friends are doing, because now I'm a mom. I have to, I don't think that it's so much so that it stops. It's just that some people, like us, just take this mother thing very seriously. And your taste may change. You might not want to do certain things anymore. It doesn't mean that, because I know a lot of my friends thought, especially with me being like the first one out there to have a child, like it was just, just because of yours. My mom will watch it whenever. It's not about that. It's my personal choice. I personally choose, but it's just not something I want to do. Yeah, but you can do whatever you want to
still have your life.
And still have your life.
Yes. And what would you like to say on that, to speak on that?
I mean, like I said, motherhood is an amazing thing, despite what everything, the world tells you. Yes, you may struggle, you may face challenges, but it's a wonderful thing. Like, believe in you, continue to know that, just because you're a mom, that life doesn't stop, right? It actually gets better, so.
Yes, love it, love it. We want to thank you all for watching, and we hope that you got something from this, and you all have a great day today.